Hey, what's going on YouTube? My name is Holden Blaze, and today we're going to be talking about Arkblock cryptocurrency. Arkblock is a crypto that rarely gets talked about from retail investors, and rightfully so because last bull market it did absolutely nothing. Arkblock initially launched back in 2018, right at the start of the bear market, and with that prices of Arkblock just went straight downwards, and since then have done absolutely nothing. It's only until recently that we've seen any positive price action from Arkblock, and normally while I would ignore cryptocurrencies that have an all-time chart that looks like this, I am actually quite bullish on Arkblock. You should note that despite being up over 60% in the past week, Arkblock still remains below $50 million in market cap, and I think it has a ton of potential if the technology proves to be useful. We will be talking about the use case of Arkblock in this video, along with the founding team, some of the connections it has, and my personal price predictions. Please note I am not a financial advisor, none of this video is financial advice, and while I do hold a little bit of Arkblock, I personally treat it somewhat like a lottery play, and I acknowledge the high risk along with the high reward. Now, getting into things, you need to note that Arkblock only has roughly 20,000 unique holders. We are still super early to this project, and the official YouTube site is not even monetized yet. I'm showing you this just to highlight how small Arkblock is at the moment. In the next couple of minutes, I will cover some of the technology that Arkblock offers, and I want you to critically analyze whether that technology warrants only 848 subscribers on YouTube. I personally do think Arkblock's marketing is one of their weakest links. However, before we get into that, we also need to acknowledge that Arkblock is a proof of stake cryptocurrency. Being a proof of stake cryptocurrency usually means that you're less secure and decentralized than a proof of work cryptocurrency, and proof of stake cryptocurrencies are heavily reliant on the founding team. In Arkblock's scenario, they are heavily reliant on Robert Mao. Robert Mao is the founder of Arkblock, and while it has been doing nothing for the past 5 years, I actually think that Robert Mao is quite intelligent. I've watched a lot of videos of his trying to understand this cryptocurrency, and at the very least, I can tell he is extremely dedicated to this project. He's acknowledged that they failed in the past, had to switch their roadmap, and is prepared for future technology trends. I also want to highlight this elevator pitch that Robert Mao made back in 2019. You need to note that Arkblock has changed a lot since 2019, but this gives you some idea of where they started from. Robert Mao says that your entire blockchain development journey, from code to user experience, can be easily managed with Arkblock's blockchain. With this, it makes it easy for clients to build and deploy decentralized applications, or dApps. Arkblock still functions in this way, however, they have largely shifted focus, and if you think this is all Arkblock is, you are largely mistaken. This right here is Arkblock's website, and they actually updated it just a few days ago. Their website is one of my largest complaints about this cryptocurrency. I do not think they know what they're doing building a website. However, this landing page is so much better than what it was just 1 week ago. This allows investors to better visualize what exactly Arkblock is and some of the components that make Arkblock valuable. If we go to one of Arkblock's articles here, we can kind of see how the Arkblock blockchain has evolved throughout the years and how they have shifted focus. I want you to note that they have been looking into DID, also known as Decentralized Identity, since 2019. I actually think this is going to be one of the most bullish components of Arkblock, and you need to note that they got started years before many companies even knew what DID was. We can see as they continue to develop, they finally see some recognition in 2022 as Arkblock was listed on Coinbase, and they appeared as a partner and customer on Amazon's conferences, events, and website. We can see here that Arkblock is still mentioned in the AWS marketplace, and I think this is something we should not overlook. Amazon is a huge connection, and knowing how big their AWS platform is, it would be great if Arkblock could implement some technology into this marketplace. I also want to note that in 2022, W3C made DID become a standard. Now that may sound like absolutely nothing to you, but we need to know that DID is that decentralized identity that we were talking about earlier, and W3C is in fact the World Wide Web Consortium. They basically develop standards and guidelines to make sure the World Wide Web is as good as it can be, and as of somewhat recently, they made DID become a standard. This is also in response to a lot of European regulation requiring DID, but now that you know why it's such a big deal, let's explain what exactly decentralized identity is. So from what I've gathered, a decentralized identity is basically a string of numbers that is attached to you and all of your digital activity that you want that decentralized ID to be displayed on. In theory, no one would know what your decentralized ID was unless you told people, and I actually think there's going to be a very good reason for content creators like me to use a decentralized ID in the future. You see, AI continues to get better and better, and videos like this, where it's just one person talking for an extended period of time, are extremely easy to be copied by AI. In order to combat this, I could look into getting a decentralized ID tied to the content that I create and share that decentralized ID to all of you. Therefore, you would be able to guarantee you are watching the real Holden Blaze and not an AI pretending to be me. I know this sounds far-fetched, but I am personally a graphic designer and have looked really deep into generative AI, and I personally see a future where it's very hard to distinguish human content from generative AI. That being said, this is why the W3C is making decentralized identity such a big deal in my opinion, and there are some projects also linked to this idea. Many of us know of Sam Altman, as he helped create OpenAI and ChatGPT, and over the past couple of months, he has created a cryptocurrency of his own. Now, I am personally not very bullish on this cryptocurrency. You can see the circulating supply is just over 1%, and that's enough for me to completely write off this project as an investor. That being said, we need to note that the market cap is substantially bigger than Arkblock, and it is also focused on decentralized identity. Basically, Sam Altman wants to collect your personal data. I believe it's an iris scan on your eye, and with that, this cryptocurrency can create a digital ID for you that can only be used when you verify it with your iris scan. If this sounds like science fiction to you, believe me, I'm kind of in the same boat. It's wild that this is an everyday reality. However, if AI is as big as the founder of ChatGPT thinks it is, I think digital IDs are going to play a huge role in content creation in the coming years. Yes, WorldCoin here is tackling that issue. However, you have to give up some personal data in order to get your personal decentralized ID, and I am personally opposed to that idea. Knowing that Arkblock has been working on DIDs since 2019, I have a lot more faith in their project than something like WorldCoin, and you need to note that DIDs are only the beginning. The main reason why Arkblock has been pumping so much in the past week is because Robert Mao, the founder of Arkblock, released a roadmap for the next 5 years. I will link this article in the video description, but basically Robert Mao is outlining technology trends that he thinks will continue into the future and how Arkblock can capitalize off of those trends. You can see here they are focused on artificial intelligence and are looking to build that into the future. They also have an NFT studio, a creator studio, which I'm sure has ties to their decentralized ID, and a Web3 kit. You can see here as we scroll down, Robert Mao is predicting DID to be a huge trend in 2026. I honestly completely agree with him. At the pace we're seeing AI develop, I think DIDs are going to become very important way faster than a lot of us want them to be, and Arkblock is completely prepared to capitalize off of this trend. I personally think Arkblock has huge potential. I think they finally have figured out their tech and their niche in the crypto ecosystem, and the only thing holding them back is better marketing. I know they have been hiring some website developers, and we've already been seeing some progress on their website. However, my favorite marketing aspect of Arkblock so far is their Twitter page. I've personally seen the sentiment in their posts shift dramatically entering 2024. We've seen a lot more uses of emojis and a really positive outlook for the coming bull market. You can see they have a rocket as their cover photo here, and the pinned tweet here is acknowledging the fact that Arkblock did nothing for 5 years. It notes that it takes 5 to 8 years for VC and decentralized identity platforms to be fully developed. If that is true, and Arkblock has been working on this since 2019, they are going to be roughly 4 years ahead of the competition for decentralized identity protocol. I don't think many people understand the potential of this, and I don't see any YouTuber actually talking about the use case of Arkblock. Yes, I've seen a couple people mention it, and I actually really respect the YouTubers talking about Arkblock right now. However, I don't think anyone realizes how big decentralized identity can be, especially with the growth of artificial intelligence. Overall, it's hard to compare Arkblock to many different cryptocurrencies. However, I can tell you that being under $50 million, I think it's completely undervalued. In my opinion, all Arkblock needs to do is focus on marketing, and this cryptocurrency project should be in the billions. I personally trust the vision of Robert Mao, and I really like the updates he's providing to Arkblock. And you need to note that in order to reach $1 billion, Arkblock would over 20x. There's a ton of multipliers on Arkblock if it all works out. However, you need to acknowledge it is a high-risk play. It's a proof-of-stake cryptocurrency with a poor track record, and so there's obviously risks with it. However, if you trust the vision and somewhat relate to my future vision outlook for artificial intelligence, I think it's safe to argue that Arkblock can reach roughly $5 billion if everything falls into place. Now, this would be over a 100x, and do I think this is guaranteed? Absolutely not. It's definitely a long shot, but it's a bet I'm personally willing to take. I hope some of you gain value in this video and can relate somewhat to my views on the future for artificial intelligence, because I truly believe that if technology keeps advancing in the way that we're seeing, decentralized identity and Arkblock could be a huge future in the crypto ecosystem. With that being said, I'd love to hear your thoughts down below. Do you think I'm absolutely crazy, or do you think Arkblock is a hidden gem? I would love to hear your opinions, and I would be very happy to see you on some of the other videos around my channel. I hope you all have a great day. Peace out.